society, this capitalistic society that we're working and that we're living in, you're going to have to do something, right? And if you're going to have to do something, I just feel, and Shamir pointed out in the way she feels, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that feel this way. If you're going to have to do something that it doesn't necessarily feel like work. You know what I'm saying? And I guess feeling like work for me means feeling like I am obligated to have to show up and do something I necessarily don't like doing. I guess that's my definition of work, is showing up and doing something that I absolutely just don't feel that is serving me. And serving what I like to do.
Well, I think of it as like relationships though. Because in a relationship, I feel like a good relationship is one that doesn't feel like work, even though you do have to do work, right? So like my marriage now doesn't feel like work. He shows up as him, I show up as me, and it works. Now, are there times where it's like, well, showing up as me isn't going to be the best at this time, so I might have to bring me down, but we do that in every part of our life where we have to, like you show into a room and somebody, but it doesn't feel like, I guess you'd have to be in a relationship that feels like work to know that when you're another one, this ain't work. Like I've been in a relationship that I just couldn't show up as me and it would just work. Like I had to always think about like, well, this is probably going to rub in the wrong way. Let me not say this. This is probably going to be an argument. So let me not say that. Like I can just be Christi in my relationship. So that's it does work.
Do something that's going to be authentically you. That's going to allow you to show up to be your most authentic self. And that won't feel like work.
Right.
How about that?
And I guess the work part is, even though you're showing up as your authentic self, there's levels to your authentic self, right? So I could show up as consistently as me, but then there's also a different look where I'm showing up as, what's a D word?
Discipline.
Discipline, that's me.
Girl, we gonna have to.
I've never knew what tattoos to get. I'm getting disciplined. Yes, I am. I am getting disciplined tattooed. That is my tattoo. You know what? I was saying, because we
maybe get it in like Hebrew or something.
We're supposed to be getting a couples tattoo.
Don't do
so
it.
I can get disciplined here.
And
he can get disciplined on his. I think I'm gonna present it. We'll see if he agrees to it.
Oh God,
he might agree to it.
Okay, well, don't make it part. You know what? They have those tattoos
discipline
now
with a heart on top of the eye.
They have those tattoos now that will go away after a certain amount of years. Get that?
They really? They have that?
No, they really do.
Like my eyebrows?
Yes. Because you made me think your eyebrows are gonna go away after a certain amount of years.
The tint will.
Oh, okay.
Like my eyelashes are there. The hair is there, but it's
the tattoo. It's not. So it's not permanent.
It's not semi-permanent. It's semi-permanent. Okay. So it starts to fade. Like it's already started to fade.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. No, ma'am. You just got this done earlier this year.
Well, I mean, it's just not as dark as it was. I guess like a henna, but henna doesn't stay dark the whole time. It gradually goes away.
When you were going through,
it's like 1 to 3 years. It's
1 to 3 years.
I think so. I guess it depends on how much you wash your face or what materials you use to wash your face. Okay. I don't know, child. Right. But the point is
discipline.
Discipline. And I guess the level or comfort you have of the work. The work shouldn't feel stressful. I think about when you talk about it feels like work parts of your business, but you're going to be an operations person no matter what room you show up into. That's not work, right? And so it's more so that if you're going to do operations in a program, system, or business that you believe in. Right. So then it doesn't feel like work when you're showing me operations. Like I think about, my business, I show up on social media live. I don't like no parts. I tell people all the time, there's two, people say that all the time. It's like, I can't tell. I was like, well,
you be waiting on it.
Never. There's two parts of my business I don't like. I don't like packing and shipping product. Can't stand it. And I don't like showing up live to sell the product on social media. I don't like it.
Wow.
There are people who do it for like 4 or 5 hours because their energy, everything about them, they look forward to it. I be at 1 hour. If I don't sell enough certain amount of product in an hour, I usually do it by like, per hour amount. So like I got a sheet of paper that people don't see that I'm tallying.
Okay.
And so within an hour,
your hourly rate is not
enough. We ended it. See y'all next time.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't love it. So it has to be worth my time.
I've seen you go live, baby. And you, okay.
Don't
I'm
like
thinking
it.
that's the part
No,
that you actually absolutely like doing.
No, you know what I like? I like the behind the scenes work. I like helping. I did a one-on-one today. I did 2 one-on-ones this morning. I have a one-on-one scheduled for Monday. I like seeing the light bulb, my assistants helping the light bulb go off on people. The product is just the facilitation to get those people into my life, to trust me, to be able to help them grow. That's what keeps me going.
Okay.
I could take that to literally any product.
And that's what I was going to talk to you after this too, because we were talking about a few things, and that's going to be the next thing. It's like, how do you transition from what you're doing now, all those skills and all those things, to what you about to do?
I'm working on that because what I'm doing is setting up systems and processes in that business that will allow me the time freedom to walk away and not feel like I'm leaving those people out to dry.
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
I know, I understand that, but that's not what I want to do, right? Which is doing what you love without it feeling like work, right? And not also giving yourself a ceiling because you're doing what you love and people are dependent on you, so you can't go to the next area. So I'm putting in systems and processes so that they can win, and then I can also win in another area. So.
Yeah. And all of this really, because this whole conversation came about because we had a fabulous guest on a few weeks ago. Her name is Shamir Falk. She is the owner and the founder of Dr. Locks. And so that was one of the things that she said within the episode, was that she was riding to work one day. She was riding to a job that she hated one day. And she heard Rashawn Ali on the radio say, if you do what you love, you never have to work another day in your life. And she said that just kept replaying over and over and over. And she got to the point where she kind of had to reflect back on, well, what is it that I love to do? And at that point, she fell into the fact that 2 things. She loved to be in the gym and she loved to do hair. So her transition was, she was like, okay, I went and worked at LA Fitness. While I was at LA Fitness, I had the opportunity to go and start doing locks in somebody else's salon. And then her journey went from there to the lady, like, letting all of them go and closing down the shop, because she was good at what she loved to do. And most of the time when you love to do something, you're going to be good at it. Now, man, I guess you can love to sing and be horrible at it, but
yes, this is true. So there are things that you can love to do and you're not good at it.
Right.
Some people love to cook, but ain't nobody trying to eat it.
So yeah, that's a whole nother show. But so once she found out that, she loved to do hair and her clients loved her work and what she did, they kind of pushed her into starting her own business, which was born in her living room. And then from there, the products came and all of that. So, when we were deciding in our lives, to trust the process and trust the journey, but just do what it is that you love and that you can show up authentically at. Pretty much.
And so listening to you say that it is, what was the point about showing up as your authentic self, but then that she loved doing hair and she loved the gym. And so what I always ask people, or what would suggest for people to dig deeper, is, why do you love the gym? Why do you love doing the hair? Because it's typically never the actual thing. It's like the environment. Like, you love being able to talk to people at the gym, and it allows you that freedom to be able to do that. So then you would really love not the gym. You just love an environment where you can talk to people.
Interact with people.
Interact with people. Or you love doing hair, but it's not really the hair itself. It's the ability to use people trust you to use your creativity. Like, they give you 3 things to do. Like, I want hair color and I want it cut. And they give you the freedom to be creative within that. And then you get to make your own schedule. So you get to choose how often you want to do it. Like, it's really find more fulfillment out of doing. It's not really the hair, it's the parameters that come with doing hair. Because even with the gym and the hair thing, like, what we know she don't want to do is sit at a computer all day. Because clearly that's not what's involved in being the gym, and that's not what's being involved in doing the hair.
Okay, so have you, and I'm sure you've had people come to you and like, you know what? I want to be in business. I want to do something. I'm good at this, but I don't know necessarily what it is that I want to do.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember, but we went to Tierra, who was one of our guests.
Yes.
Her 5-year anniversary where she had become a millionaire in her t-shirt business. And then one of her friends was there and I was talking to her. We knew each other from way back from my days in Chicago. And that's exactly what she was saying. People always come to her for advice. She knows she wants to do something different, but she doesn't know exactly what she wants to do. And so our next step would be like her setting up a discovery call so I can ask her like just questions, like dig in deep to what does she like? What does she do? Because she said that's how even I got to the point of even realizing like people are always coming to her for advice. And she's the one that would told her best friend Tierra, like, you should probably do this. Have you thought about doing this? So it basically was another lane for Tierra to go into. She said that's what people come to her for that all the time. So then great.
So now she needs to find out how to monetize it.
How to monetize that. Or doing it more often because that is what you're naturally doing, but you may find that you may go to monetize and be like, oh, I don't like this part because people are putting parameters. People don't put parameters on things when you're giving away for free.
So that is so interesting. So I had a conversation with Christian, Lancer's son, a few days ago. And so we actually have taken your approach on having weekly meetings. I know now I heard earlier today, you said you do bi-weekly meetings, but right now we are in the weekly. Okay. Things have to be progressed.
We might be moving to weekly too. But it really is weekly because she has counseling one week and then it's me the next week and then counseling next week. So she's meeting with somebody and talking every week. Yeah.
Right. Well, with us right now, we're having a family meeting, Lance and me, Christian. We have a family meeting, 3:00 Fridays. That is the thing.
We're 4:00 Friday.
I was listening. It was a few episodes back when you said that. I was like, oh, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And I did it. It's like this will be our third week this week. So that was a thing though. Right now he's in the 10th grade and we need him to have some sort of plan. Now, we understand things can change, but have some sort of plan about what you need to do.
Who doesn't have a plan talking about
go ahead. But I had a plan.
I'm just messing with
because
you.
our plans changed.
Right.
Now, I had a plan though. If you would ask me in 10th grade what I was going to do when I graduated, I could tell you exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I actually started that journey and then I was like, no, this ain't what I want to do. So again, but you have a plan.
Right. Yeah.
And it's habit building too. So if we can, the earlier we can start having him doing those and thinking about those and writing those things down. Now I'm going to have him sit down with us and start doing the blocks and all that. Like once you can do that, if I would have learned how to do that earlier, I wouldn't be sitting here at 40, almost 41, trying to figure out how to do it. Right. So we was talking to him and, one of the things that he's gotten into is playing the guitar. Well, I met this young lady a few years ago and she's phenomenal at photography, but she already has, and she was a high schooler going into college then when she told me this. She said, Tameshia, I don't want to do photography as a business because the moment I make this a business, I'm not going to like it anymore.
Right.
So she already knew that she wanted to just keep photography as something that she did leisurely because she loved to do it.
Right.
But the moment she turned it into a job, that's what she was going to stop, So yes, I do agree with doing what you love because you'll never have to work a day in your life. But there are going to be something. You don't have to do everything that you love.
Yeah, there are some things that are just hobbies. Just for fun.
Right. Yeah. So you don't have to turn everything that you love to do into a business. Like let's just find something that's going to make your, set your life up to the success that you wanted. But keep those other things that you really have no interest in doing for anybody else. You want to just do it on your own time. Like keep those things to yourself and keep them as a hobby.
Yeah. And I would even, if I was talking to her, I'd even say, what is the reason that you wouldn't like it when you have to start paying people for it? Because that might be just where you need to niche down at, right? So people who are like hairstylists, or in this case, a photographer, she may feel like, if I talk to her and ask her this question, she may feel like, well, I don't want to make it a business because people are going to want me to do this, 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 and this. And I don't want to do this. I just want to do this. Well, that just means you're not an everybody photographer, you're a niche photographer for specifically this. So you can enjoy being a photographer and being paid for it in your niche. And then you just say, and I think people are scared of niching down.
That's the big
because
thing.
they feel like, well, then I won't be able to be prosperous, or I won't be. But we see all the big stories of, I have thousands of followers and I have millions of this and millions, but it really doesn't. You can niche down and have 100 people who are, and because you have a niche, you have the ability to charge more because everybody don't offer a expertise in that niche. And so that's what I would, even for people who are listening are like, well, I don't know how to niche down, but think about what you specifically like. Like I wouldn't be a strategist for everybody because I don't want to deal with this kind of person. Like that's not that's why I say I'm not a coach, because I don't want to deal with your issues.
Right.
Like I'm not an issues person. I'm a plan person. And so I will filter you through to somebody who is going to help you with your issues. And then you can come back to me when you're ready to outline the plan. And so that's my niche, right? And so I would get frustrated, and I have. That's how I became to have a niche.
Right.
That's how I became to have a niche.
And know who you wanted to work with, and all
because I got frustrated and like, I don't want to do that. Like that gives me a headache. Oh my God, stop telling me all that. Like, oh, I'm getting all frustrated, and I realized like, because that's not where I should be working at. I should be working in the niche area and not feel like I'm leaving people out to dry. Just having like, you know what, you're not ready for my services, or I don't provide that service. Here go. And they're thankful to me because I realize like the area they need it, and I send them to the expertise.
You didn't waste
like
their time.
The chiropractor is not doing your nails. You know what I mean?
Right.
You might come to
or if they're not giving you a assignment, somebody.
Exactly.
Whatever. Like you go to a masseuse for to get the massage, the deep tissue and all that. You go to the chiropractor to get adjusted, and they're not trying to get in you.
And when they're adjusting you and you saying, oh, I have so much soreness right there, they're probably like, well, you probably need a masseuse for that. Because I don't do that.
And they get paid good money to stay in their
niche.
Lane. Yep. So I feel like that was a lot of what I got from the episode with Shamir, is that, you know, she necessarily didn't come out of the gate knowing what she wanted to do, but she trusted the process. And then she got back to things that she was good at, things that she did like to do. And that's kind of paved the way to where she is today. So, like I said, it was a great episode. Y'all have to go back and watch. It was actually two.
Yeah, two.
So go back and watch those. Is there any other great takeaways that you want to leave with today?
No, I would just say that when it comes time to think about trusting the process, we see people at the end. If you ever ask questions of someone who's at a point that you feel is success, talk to them and ask them questions about their process. What did they do before? How did they figure out? What did they fail in that would be one of those fail forward situations? Like, what did you fail in that now leads you to where you are today? Because for me, I failed in the coaching part and realized like, this is not it. That's why I have success in the strategy part, right? But I had to go through that process to realize what my strength was. Right. It's one of those things that going around the internet right now where they're saying with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z said, you want to take the money.
The $500,000 or the dinner.
The reason why, this is my perspective of why Jay-Z said take the money, because most people aren't going to have the right questions for him in that time period. So they won't come out of that situation with anything. They'd have been better off. They'd have been better off having the money. So what I'm saying is when you get in situations with somebody, have the right question. And to me, one of the right questions is, you've been successful. Where did you mess up? Where did you fail? And what did you learn from that failure that got you here? Right. Everybody's gonna be able to tell you what their failures are. And I think that's gonna teach you more than the highlight reel at the end that you're seeing now. So that would be my takeaway is knowing you get in situations all the time. I was in a situation today I walked in here with David Shands, and I was like, I tell people all the time, I talk myself up. And I was like, am I gonna let this man walk by and not let him know who I am?
Right. This be like the second or third time that you
second or third time. So I took the opportunity to say, like, not who I am and what I do, but just like, hey, remember you saw, and I know you talked to a lot of people at the conference. We had this situation. He's like, hey, gave me a hug, whatever. But when you have those opportunities, like, be prepared in advance to know how to take advantage of those moments. Right. Now, I feel confident. He may not.
And then here's a little bit more intimate. So, yeah, I mean, by now, again, just keep showing up. Because there's going to be some point where, baby, your first last name, who your husband is, not me, all kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just going to be those moments. And that's just how life is happening.
Right.
That's just how life is happening. Like, the reason why we're even sitting here is because we trust the process. We knew what it was that we wanted to do. I remember having some of the very first conversations. We knew what it was that we wanted to do. And then we just continue to trust the process to continue to get going. And baby, just stay tuned because it is just getting started. More, baby.
Helping more, helping ourselves, and so on and so forth. So we'll drop the link so you can get the inspiration from this episode where we talked with Shamir, and you can see the process that the failures that she had to now be she literally has 2 brands. She now has the Shamir brand, and then she has a Dr. Locke's brand, which is a beautiful thing.
Yes. So stay tuned. Like this whole episode, we know that you're going to go ahead and give this a thumbs up because this is good.
Share, subscribe.
Do all the things. Drop us some comment, leave us some love. And we just appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. Week over week now. We have stepped it up. We've become more disciplined and went from doing.
We're like in the top 80% of podcasters. Most people don't make it past the 6th episode. We're on, I think this is like 16, 17, 18, somewhere around there.
So we ain't going nowhere. So
all right,
stay tuned.
On and upward.
Bye.
Bye.